During Joe Biden's town hall on CNN, the topic of working with Republicans came up, and Biden seemed to have conflicting messages on that front. In fact, according to CNN, he offered a contradictory view on Republicans, insisting they'll be more willing to work with Democrats after President Donald Trump leaves office, while telling a story about them refusing to cooperate before Trump had even become the GOP presidential nominee. For instance, their refusal to even hold a hearing for Supreme Court nominee Merrick Garland. So I don't know where his head is at, and the idea of
I have a good guess.
Republicans working with Democrats if he gets elected is ridiculous.
So I want to read you the exact quote. Now, first he gave the whole story about, look, I told the Republicans to work with me on Merrick Garland. Hey, Joe, how'd that turn out? I mean, why are you even telling that story? We question Trump's intelligence all the time. And look, I don't want to do false equivalency between Biden and Trump. Biden's a million times better. But why are you telling a story about how they screwed you if you're saying that, hey, we should work with Republicans? That doesn't make any sense at all. And he said at the time, Joe, quoting the Republicans, I'm in a state where if in fact the Koch brothers drop in $10 to $12 million, I will lose the primary. So Joe, didn't you learn anything from that? Your Republican buddies, when you tried to convince them, told you, I don't give a damn about your principles. And he tried to make a constitutional argument. They basically told him, I don't care about the Constitution. All I care about is the money, And it's not me saying it, it's Joe Biden saying it. And did Joe Biden learn anything from that? Nothing, because he went on to say right after that in this town hall, quote, I honest to God believe with Trump out of the way, you're gonna find people screwing up a lot more courage than they had before to say, okay, I can move now, I have more leeway. Based on what, Joe? Based on what?
On nothing. This is his attempt to keep using this nonsense narrative about how he is more electable than other candidates, how he is somehow going to appeal to people who voted for Trump, right? That is the argument that we keep hearing over and over and over again from his campaign. And it's just unfounded, and the very idea that Republicans are willing to work with anyone on the left is ridiculous. And how many case studies do we need of centrist Democrats trying to appeal, like by the way, fighting progressives and trying to appeal to the right wing in order to garner support, and then that strategy fails? How many times do we need to go through this process?
So look, guys, at a bare minimum, if you think that, hey, even though the Republicans didn't work with Obama for 8 straight years, did an unprecedented blocking of a Supreme Court justice, then told you they're doing it because of the money, that somehow, and that was pre-Trump, that somehow after Trump, they will come to their senses and have the courage to work with Democrats. At a bare minimum, you misunderstand politics completely. It's the money. It's the money. They don't care about principles. You're having a nonsense, mythical conversation about, oh my God, I bet I can convince these Republicans. Now, that's the kind version. The unkind version is, you're not that bright. No matter how many times they spit in your face and say, hey, Joe, you schmuck, why don't you give us another good deal where we win and you lose? You know, the deal that he made with Mitch McConnell to make the Bush tax cuts for the rich permanent, Bush couldn't get it passed. Even with Republicans in charge, Bush couldn't make it permanent. The deal that Biden struck was so in favor of Republicans and so in favor of rich donors that even very moderate to conservative Democrats, what I would call a corporate Democrat like Michael Bennet, was so furious, he wrote a whole book about how Biden betrayed the Democrats by giving McConnell everything he wanted. You know how much of the tax cuts that the rich retained in the Biden-McConnell deal? 94%. So that is Joe Biden in a nutshell, giving Republicans 94% of what they wanted and then bragging about the other 6%. That is a deal we are not remotely interested in. If you want someone who's gonna help the Republicans and doesn't know a thing about politics, you'd vote for Joe Biden. If you want actual real change that's gonna stand up and people who are gonna stand up for the average American, you'd vote for a progressive. Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.